When I left business school and started working in the community, I started volunteering with Jewish United Fund and specifically the Young Leadership Division, and worked my way up and became executive vice president, and it was a very fulfilling role. And then that stint ended, and I was looking for some way to remain involved in the Jewish community. And JCFS emerged as a phenomenal organization, something that I thought was really important for the community, but also something where I could be actively involved and hopefully provide some talent that would be useful to the clients and to the organization. I know this sounds crazy, but I actually love the entire experience of creating the merged organizations, because it really, in my heart of hearts, I believed that this new entity was going to achieve amazing things that we could never have achieved before. And that really drove me to say, we have to overcome every single obstacle that's going to be put in front of us. And if we can lay the path down for where we want to go, this will really set in place an organization that is going to live for a long time and do fantastic things for the community, for the clients, as well as for the staff. I always recommend that when you're looking for something to do and to volunteer or to be involved in an organization, you have to look inside yourself and figure out what really motivates you. And I think JCFS offers an incredible opportunity to help people fulfill those dreams in a variety of ways. The first is, if you are into seeing tangible results, really helping people in need, I don't think you can go to many other places where you're going to really feel good about the kinds of things that you can do for people. And I still remember many of my experiences going and visiting and talking to clients, talking to parents of clients, talking to children of clients, and understanding the services that we provided that would never have been able to be given for those people without JCFS. And that is incredibly fulfilling. I think the promise and the product and the benefit that we provide to our clients and to the community is trust, it's quality, it's sensitivity, and it's a groundedness in our Jewish values. And I think the totality of those four pieces coming together means that the service that you're going to get, the experience that you're going to have, the outcomes that you're going to come away with are going to be better than you could get anywhere else, whether it is another not-for-profit agency or whether you're going to a private agency or a private service provider. When we brought people together between the two organizations, you looked around the room and you said, wow, what an absolutely amazing group of people that we have. What an amazingly talented group of people that we have. What an amazing opportunity do we have. And as we looked around, we said, oh my gosh, so much more is possible than we ever dreamed about. We said, how do we capture that expression? And that's when we came up with the concept of redefine what's possible.
But what about your house? What do you do in your house?
Back.
Oh, you have housemates? How many? Two? We have three children, Tamima, Shira, and Ephraim. And Tamima and Fry both have an undiagnosed developmental disability. A lot of their early life was focused on our going from doctor, doctor, doctor. We felt like we could either galvanize constructively and get busy, which we do like to do, or we could kind of just be in this morass of hopelessness and despair and aloneness. But we did ultimately, after many, many dead ends, decide that probably whatever we would find out, wouldn't be relevant to their treatment, and we should focus on their quality of life and who they were and how to help them be their own best selves.
growing up in this house, it kind of just gave me the message of, if you're not happy with the status quo, then go do something about it. If you're not going to come up with the vision and just work to replace it and make the world or make the problem what try to fix the problem, try to make the world what you want it to be, who else is going to be doing that? And I think I definitely got that message.
The vision of Heichal was, in a way, philosophically, tied to a concept that I had drawn out at Ephraim's bar mitzvah. The concept of dwelling places as it's used in one of the Psalms. It starts actually with a sukkah, which is just like a lean-to. It's just a temporary structure. It goes to an ohel, a tent, then a bayit, which is a firm house, and ends with heichal, a sanctuary. So at that time, sort of articulated the vision that we would be working, that we ought to be working towards the development of housing for persons with disabilities that reflect this concept of heichal, of aspiration. That was kind of the beginning of our articulation of what the mission of Heichal would be.
We have deeply shared ideals about making a difference, about using your Judaic framework to improve the world, and we really get going when we're working on a shared mission. And
it's partly a sense about the Jewish community itself. It's partly what Lori is suggesting, that we feel that we ought to do that. It's partly, too, that we think the community ought to be doing that. And we think that our life has been that if we think the community should be doing it, then we should be showing them how. And we should get the thing started.
Lead by example.
Lead by example and wade into it with the rest of the community and do it on behalf of the community, and all boats will be lifted with that tide.
As you've seen with my parents, it was immediately into action and creative thinking and kind of envisioning something new, and of course with my family and my siblings, it wasn't going to be, there was never really a thought that something that's already out there was going to be a good fit. Like, of course there had to be something new.
I do want to place Tamim and Ephraim in a sense at the center of this, because as someone who married into the family and someone who's not from Chicago, they still today function as great, the people who, when I walk into any communal space in the Jewish community in Chicago, they're famous. They are the people who really have introduced me in very deep and complex ways to the various features of the Chicago Jewish community. So for that, I think they serve as a good example of people who are at the center of things.
Redefining what's possible would be that there's just a natural space in the community for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and those things are totally resourced and it's just expected.
We were saying that we wanted this to be a demonstration model. We want families who may not have the resources to participate at that level to enable their adult children to have the same kind of quality of life, and that's a communal what's possible in Vista, and I hope we'll get there. That's the next horizon.